Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy burstzgyt back here, and today we are back talking about Marvel's Avengers. Now, if you didn't already know, the deep dive for Jane Foster dropped not that long ago. I just got done reacting to it with some friends, and there seemed to be some decent, enjoyment from it. But as you can see, if you were watching, if you already watched, you may have some interesting opinions about it. Now, I will say you probably should just overlook the video yourself on the official account for Play Avengers, and kind of get your own opinions on it. But I'm going to give my thoughts here. Now, looking at Jane Foster, obviously they really went for what they say in Echo. It's essentially that she most likely and does play like Thor. You can see that a lot in the takedowns and in some of the signatures and heavy attacks and whatnot. A lot of the same combos. There are some different variations in there. You can look and see. But I think what we have to take note of is everything in her skill tree, the different versions you can change for each skill. Like God Blast for Thor, you can have three of them. You can have it on cryo, however you want to pronounce that. And there's another option that I can't think of at the time. But I think that's what we have to look at for Jane, not necessarily the visual flourish of the move. They most likely are the same, right? But her ultimate is definitely different. It's a little bit mixed in there with Clint's Hunter's arrow, and for me personally, I have a whole different take on that, and how it's taken 6 months for us to get a new character, right? And she has similarities to two of the heroes in the game already. I think it doesn't necessarily justify it for me that it took this long for Jane, considering how much similarities there are. But I guess I really have to get my hands on her to see how different her skill tree variations are, before I guess I can give a 100% review of that. They did give us a kind of overlook of her gear. That's not something I'd talk about too much, but I think it's okay. I mean, a lot of it is going to be similar to Thor. Some of it's going to be different. They did say they'd made some ones that they're making just for Jane for now, but it's going to be attainable for Thor, so there's that. But I mean, overall, I think they did okay with this character. The skins are great. I'd love to see what they do for her beyond what they're dropping, just because there's not a whole lot Jane has worn yet in the Marvel comics, but I guess we'll see. The most important thing here is the future, right? Now, we did get this in the last couple blogs. I think they kind of mentioned this, that we are getting that Cloning Labs OLT finally, after a year plus of waiting. It's finally coming, and it's going to reveal MODOK's fate after the defeat of the Kree Sentry, right? Sentinel, however you want to say that, because they put Sentinel now instead of Sentry. And yeah, they said the Warzone will lead our heroes to AIM's Cloning Lab, a new Omega level threat where your high-level strike team will challenge and defeat a revitalized MODOK in a new multiplayer villain fight. Cloning Labs will be a new endgame content that rewards conquering heroes with high power level gear from brand new exotic gear sets. And you can read more in their recent June development update. And this is the one that I believe you're going to have to be at 175 to actually take on. So in the meantime, while we're getting Jane, if Jane is something you want to focus on, you're going to have to get her to 175 if you want to take this content on, as far as I understand. And the rest of this down in the blog is if you're a new player and kind of want to get to understand all the news and what's going on. If you'd love to do that, go check that out. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I was surprised they didn't really give any kind of tease to this. And I mean, I know that there's the whole AIM Island thing Miller has talked about before. I'm not sure how that's going to come into play later on, if at all. We'll have to see how it happens. But yeah, I mean, this is what we have to look forward to in terms of content for patch after 2.5. And we don't know how long that is, how long that gap is. We don't know when She-Hulk is. A lot of people were expecting She-Hulk or Winter Soldier or some other hero to appear in this deep dive at the end for some reason, but obviously we didn't get that. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm hoping that Jane is solid as a character when she comes tomorrow, and considering that there's nothing really that she's dropping with in terms of like any kind of new missions, it'll be more or less the same. I mean, you'll be playing the raid or events just as usual. So I guess my only complaint is that really she is just a character dropping. And so I guess we have to wonder, is 6 months for that acceptable? But I guess our opinions of that are going to vary based on what she's actually like tomorrow. So I'll leave it at that. I'll be at an impasse with my opinion, and we'll circle back to it. But anyways, I just kind of want to give an overview, give some thoughts on what I thought of Jane, If you have different opinions or you'd like to, debate or whatever in the comments, let me know. Yeah. How'd you guys like the reveal video? How do you guys like Jane as a character? How do you guys like the designs, etc., etc.? I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.